Up on a statement about Arkansas this weekend, then we'll take questions.
Exciting weekend for us to be home after a 5-game road trip for sure, and get back to Plainsman Park here for Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against the #1 team in the country, Arkansas Razorbacks. So hadn't played them since opening series last year, so it'd be exciting to get to compete against those guys once again. And you know, I wanted to mention yesterday how positive yesterday was for us. Really within an hour, getting to send off our women's basketball team and our men's basketball team. I know everybody's been surrounded by them, and that's the buzz, and it's March, and this is my opportunity to say how much I respect our two coaches, our players, and the Auburn family's absolutely behind them 100%. And to see their send-off yesterday was pretty special, and then us to go over to get a win against a good South Alabama team and bounce back from a tough weekend. I was really impressed with our pitchers. I don't think I'd have drawn it up. I wanted us to get some distance there and play a little more offense last night. But what the doctor ordered was a 2-1 win, and our pitchers bounced back and threw 72% strikes. I thought that was really, really positive and needed in the moment. So yesterday was a very positive day. You know, we were kind of at this point last year. I think we went back-to-back weekends last year where you went on the road and beat the #2 team, come back home and you beat the #1 team in America at home. This is a call to arms of trying to step up to the plate and do that again. And this Arkansas team is so good, especially on the mound, that you can't duck and dive. You absolutely have to go right through them to have success. So hopefully we're up for the challenge. We've been there before. We knew, you know, if you looked at this schedule and looked at, you know, eventually it looks like you played the #2 team last week, you're playing #1 this week, probably playing #3 next week, and you might be playing #4 or 5 the following week to open up this SEC play. But I think a lot of our program and our club, so I want us to rise to the challenge. And you know, our best players need to play great. I think we know that. We need a frenzy. We've worked hard to build more atmosphere as we continue to be in construction and do some things. But this is one of those weekends where, you know, can we create the best environment we ever have for a weekend series? This feels like it's early in the year, but really important. And so if you're not going to Washington or going to Connecticut, we definitely would love to have you at Plainsman Park, because a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series is a little unique, but it's a home series, and you know, if our players get after it and our fans absolutely create an environment, this is one that's needed this weekend where our Auburn family can play a big, huge part. A couple of things. 1 of 4 Eagle flights will take place on Friday. I always think that's awesome. We started that last year. It's the first time that had taken place, so we'll have that Friday night. That's really special, really awesome to see. And then our Eagles program, our amazing students on campus, we're having the Eagles program, and part of the weekend is to honor those students that have been Diamond Dolls in our program, that have started to go to school here and just been amazing. So we're excited to host the Eagles program and honor them this weekend as well.
Butch, how do you approach your pitching this weekend, and how does it kind of set up for you guys?
Yeah, you know, I think somebody had my locker room bug last week that was over here, and some things we were already thinking. Probably doing it a week early, and it wound up being out of necessity, with McBride being from Sunday on just not being able to participate and being sick. So just a health thing of sickness. And so we thought he could only go 1 or 2 innings last night. We thought we want a full start. He's had our longest starts, #1, and our most productive starts. And so we just moved him a couple of days. He was able to do a bullpen yesterday before we left for Montgomery, and we left him back here. So we got some work in, and we're going to give him the start there on Thursday. So that's been our best statistical pitcher as a starter this year. So we move him to game 1. We'll move also to game 2, probably the biggest arm that we have in the program. And then, you know, one of our best track record guys in Gonzalez for game 3. So that's how we'll line it up. But we were already thinking about McBride and this health that came up allowed us to do that. Herbert Holtz did a nice job bouncing back Saturday and getting us off to a good start yesterday, and giving us 3 innings, I think, in his start yesterday.
Right.
Butch, last year you went to Arkansas and got swept, and then you came back and won 17 league games, which was really big, I think, for your program. Is that something that you can talk to your team about, and that's something they can build on?
Yeah, and I think they're aware. I just brought up last year when we had to play some really good teams. You always can draw on the past, but this team is this team, and every series feels different in the past. And 3 teams from our league are having to lick their wounds from a sweep last week, and that's kind of part of it. This was a road series, 5 games. We went 2-3. The pitching that we pitched in Nashville will not work in our league. I think our guys are aware of that. Competed really well on Sunday, didn't get anything done, and it's just, like I said, it's good to be home. And I guess the point I'm trying to make, this team is different and unique, and we have to understand that. Our deal is to get back on track pitching wise, hopefully making one adjustment, will do something for us, and be positive with McBride entering. 72% strikes last night was extremely positive. I think we had a 13-to-1 ratio with strikeouts to walks, and I thought I saw more confidence, and everybody landed more than one pitch, meaning their secondary stuff was in the zone as well. So that's a step. We've only had one big inning offensively in the last 4 ball games. So I do think the pitching woes of Vanderbilt wound up being the storyline, but at the same time, it's really can't compare to last year. Where you really need to compare is right now is what's important with this team, and so offensively we're slow again last night, and McMurray has swung the bat well, and a little bit left-handed. Maynard's had 2 hits. Our right-handed hitters for the last 4 or 5 games have not performed. And I think we're just like, what do we have to do to get going? And to me, it's our right-handed hitting. We know the pitching, and we're trying to make adjustments to grow in that category. So what's important for this team, I think, is where I'm trying to get the guys' mindset into, one game at a time. And we don't need to, the best way to eat a gorilla is one bite at a time. So we just absolutely need to get into like tomorrow night's ball game and get involved. But those are some of the challenges and things. How do we improve our right-handed at bats, and can we help and line up this pitching in such a way that we get more production out of our starters, understanding that the middle of the game was a huge challenge for us in game 2 and game 3 at Vanderbilt. So what's that shuffle? Well, one is to try to improve the starts, and then 2 and 3 would be to try to figure out the pieces of the middle of the game. How can we shore that up, and can we circle the wagons around 6 or 7 arms this weekend and tell them we're committed to you this weekend? I think we're at one of those junctures with what we're trying to do with our pitching staff, but a good first step last night. And 2 and 3 on the road is it's not all result oriented. It was a negative of the 3 being in our being conference games, but nonetheless, it's paying attention to detail with where we're at, who we are, and what we're about to do, and regrouping. And ever since Monday, it's been about what are the solutions and steps we can do, the 1, 2, or 3 things to make things better. That's what we can control.
Well, the third part of the game obviously is defense, and a couple of weeks ago it seemed like everything looked like it was pretty solid, but there have been some critical errors and sometimes not even listed as errors at times that against this kind of competition you just can't afford to be making them. Just your thoughts on tightening that up.
Yeah, and Bill, I don't know if that, because we played such good defense, I don't know if the offense carried over into the field. I do think Vanderbilt's field had something to do with that. They internal clock, timing of making plays. I think all that goes into play. Last night, I didn't see the challenges on the ground as much as I saw in the air. We had a ball first batter of the game. We had another ball that our guys can catch. Cooper McMurray's bat's hard to take out there. He's having our best at bats, but he did have knee surgery in the fall. So we got to continue to make some adjustments to where when balls are hit in his quadrant or area that you'd think he would be able to get to still, that we got to have coverage. You know, can a pitcher get over there and get involved in that play knowing of a challenge that we have? And just, we had a triangle ball yesterday of a second base, right field, and they just got to know that they might have to catch a ball that another guy is probably, it's set up for him to catch. So I think getting back at Plainsman Park is going to help our defense, but mentally you have to be strong enough. When you lash out, when you absolutely show frustration in body language, it's a weakness. We have to be able to call that out and understand that, because when your at-bats walk into the field with you, you just compound the issues that you have. Whatever we're doing good, we need to continue to do good. Hitting's hard, hitting goes through different things, but it cannot be taken out on the field. So yes, to your point, there's been some frustration because there's some things that we've absolutely shown that we've been buttoned up for a long time that we haven't been able to do recently, that seem like it's bled into our defense, and that's unacceptable and can't happen in this league, and it'll make it harder to be successful. One of our keys on Sunday was, man, you just can't extend. I thought we had a chance. We got a lead, we had a chance, and you know, the second inning especially, I thought we had two plays that we can make. They could have got us out of the inning. They could have got maybe Joseph another inning. In our league's so good. When you start playing the teams with a ranking beside them of 1, 2, 3, you can't allow them, if there's 27 outs in a game, you can't be giving a team like this in our league 30, 31 outs to work with. They'll make you pay.
I got two quick ones. Last week you told us Connor McBride would be next up if you need to make adjustment, and he's starting. For next week, if you still need to make some adjustments, would it be Herbert Holtz getting the next up?
Yeah, but I think right now, we'll be pointing him with throwing 3 innings and throwing twice pretty quick. I think right now, Teef will be, you know, building his recovery, building his bullpens into a Tuesday startup. Forgive me. I think it's Jacksonville State, maybe coming here. So we'll be building him for that midweek start, because this will be back-to-back weeks. I think next week's getting into Easter week, so it'll be back-to-back Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we can make some adjustments off of what happens this weekend, but I think right now initially we'll start moving him toward Tuesday, unless if something else comes up. But that'll be the plan of recovery, at least for these first, 48, 72 hours, is to point him toward next Tuesday.
And you, Coach Foxall, Coach Teef, all have a ton of pitching experience, coaching pitching. Do you feel like you guys are communicating well and problem solving, everything that needs to be done, helping the staff out? Do you feel like it's getting done right now?
Yeah, I trust him. And I would say there's always been a point in the season where I probably jumped in more. And you could say right or wrong. Just being a pitching coach in this league for so long, that's what I've been longer than I've been a head coach. So there's always that piece there. But, right now, I've helped with game management. It seems like in our other sports, we're always thinking, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And I don't want that to, we run it a very similar way until I feel like I have to help more. So the game management piece we've done for a few years, and so I'm helping with that, but full trust, I really want to hear what they're thinking. And Teef, I thought he did a great job last night. I thought that was a couple of tough pieces. Carlson had thrown really well last night, and then there's a 9th inning to cover, and he picked the guy, Watts. He gave up a double there, and then he took a mound visit, and you got Armstrong ready. He stayed with Watts, and Watts got the last out. We need our players, to absolutely, it's a player's game. But I think with every one of these things that Teef goes through as the leader, above Fox, above me, but I'm in tune with every bit of that, and if I have a gut feel. So this is how we're running. If it's being transparent, and, I believe in him with everything that's going on in the world right now, and with athletics, and with what my job is and what his job is. The players absolutely love him. They absolutely responded, in my opinion, and I think Teef's doing a great job. But just like all of us, he's got to. I mean, he's a pitching coach in the SEC, and it's the first year, and I think he's doing an amazing job with that, of connecting with them. And I think every game that we play, since he's been on the professional side, I think he's drawing closer and closer to what his convictions are. And I think it's pretty neat that he has somebody experienced like Scott Foxhall, that's been a national championship pitching coach, a national coach of the year, and has had so much experience in our league. I think it's pretty neat that he has somebody like that right next to him. So Scott Foxhall in our player development role has been essential, I think, to helping Tiford get more and more comfortable each and every day being a pitching coach at this level. We're thankful to have both of those guys in our program.